We're back. Back page of your handout for lesson 4.5 is example 2. The height of a football when kicked is modeled by h of d, where h of d is this equation where h of d represents height in meters and d represents the distance in meters. Okay, so if h of d is height, right, then distance is this way, right? So height goes in the y direction, distance goes in the x direction, okay? What is the maximum height of the football? When does this occur? Okay, we're still using answer the following questions in guess method, both example 1 and 2, okay? G-U-E-S-S. Okay, so what's been given for the G? What's the unknown for the U? What's the equation for the E? What's the solution for the S? And what's the sentence for the last S? Given. Okay, so the height of the football is modeled by h of d, where h of d is this equation. Okay, so let's write the equation first. Be careful when you write it. Make sure that you've got negative 0.051. Negative 0.051. Okay? Okay, so h of d is the height. Okay, so h of d is the height in meters. D is the distance in meters. Okay, now h of d is the same as y equals. Okay, so if h of d is y, then d on its own has to be x. Rewrite your formula, your equation. Your brain will recognize the equation. Okay, so if h of d, because it's function notation, right, just like f of x, d of x, g of x, right, anything like that. Okay, so, and the other way you know that this is y and not something else is because the only thing that you've encountered that is squared are your x's. Okay, so because you use d as an x, then you can't use h of d as x as well, right? So that wouldn't make sense. Okay, so h of d, I maybe fix that. H of d, okay, so that's y, and this is x. Very important to connect the h of d and the d to the y and the x. Okay, so the unknown. What, question, and when? So find maximum height. Okay, well you have the word maximum, okay, so that must be the k value. Okay, the only thing that can associate maximum with anything is the k, right? And then it says when does this occur? Well, we had said in example 1a that k is only associated with the vertex, which is hk, right? So when this occurs, okay, when this occurs, it has to be the value associated with k. Well, the only value associated with k is the other point, or other value, I should say, in the vertex, which is the h. Okay, so you want to know h, okay, where v is equal to hk. But you also know that that's the same as a point xy, right? But specifically hk. All right, the equation. Well, we need if we want to have the vertex, right, we need the vertex form. Y equals ax minus h squared plus k to find the vertex, which is hk, right? Solution. Okay, so take what's been given, the unknown, and the equation. So let's use this equation. Y equals negative 0.051 x squared plus 2.04 x plus 1.6. Let's use that equation. Okay, so that's standard. We need to make or change that standard form into vertex form. All right, so the a value has to be divided out. It can only be 1 when we complete the square. So we have to divide the a value out. I'm going to move things over a little bit. Okay, so y is equal to negative 0.051 divided out, that gives you 1x squared, 2.04 divided by 0.051, which is negative, gives me negative 40. Okay, so now I have to complete the square. So I'm going to say negative 0.051 x squared minus 40x plus something minus something plus 1.6. Okay, what is that something? Well, that's c. So c is the new b divided by 2 squared. What is the new b? It's negative 40. Negative 40 divided by 2 squared is negative 20 squared, which is 400. So that 400 is going to be added, but to take away. Okay, so it's negative 40. After I divide out the a value, I need this number, not this number. So negative 40 divided by 2 is negative 20 squared is 400. And then the plus c minus c is the plus 400 minus 400. Okay, so y is equal to negative 0.051 x squared minus 40x plus 400. I need to multiply my a value times my negative c to get to what is down here. Okay, which is, so it's a times negative c, which takes me down here, right? Takes me down here. So 0.051, which is negative, multiplied by the 400, which is negative, is 20.4 plus 20.4. So I have to factor my perfect square trinomial, my PST. So what adds to negative 40 but multiplies to 400, which is negative 20 and 20. If I don't know that, I could do the shortcut, which would be to take half of the b term. So negative 0.051 x minus 20, x minus 20 is factored, and then I add these, oops, so 20.4 plus 1.6 is 22. So I get y equals negative 0.051 x minus 20 squared plus 22. I compare it to vertex form, which is what I'm at. Okay, there's my h and there's my k. So h is 20, k is 22. Okay, so my s, okay, so my s is my sentence. Okay, since H is 20 and K is 22, go back up here, H is when this occurs. So when you have H same as your X, right? So when you have a distance of 20, then you have a K value, a max value of 22. So therefore, when the football travels a distance of 20 meters, it reaches a max height of 22 meters. Okay? All right, let's keep going. How far is the football traveled when it is 15 meters high? Round the distance to one decimal place. The fact that we've been asked to round should create some kind of a reminder that quadratic formula is when we have to round, okay? So that's a heads up. All right, so G-U-E-S, S. So given for G, U, unknown. E is the equation. S is the solution. And the last S is the sentence. Okay, given. So what we were given in example 2 applies to B, right? Applies to A, but it also applies to B. So we were given the H of D equals negative 0.051 D squared plus 2.04 D plus 1.6. Just checking my equations. Okay, so we said that H of D was height in meters, okay, and that D was distance, also in meters. But we also said that D squared, okay, the only thing that can be D squared is X, okay, so the fact that D squared is X squared means that H of D has to be Y. Once we use X over here, we can't also call this X. That would be a mistake, okay? So H of D is function notation back in 1.3. So that's Y equals negative 0.051 X squared plus 2.04 X plus 1.6. How? What are the who, what, when, where, why, how questions? So how far has the football traveled when it is 15 meters high? Well, height is the H of D, right? We already called that Y, okay? And that was X, okay? So what or how far has football traveled? Okay, so that's a question mark. So how far has it traveled? That's distance, right? So that's the distance, right? How far have you traveled? That's your distance. How far have you traveled down the highway, right? Is the X, the distance is left, right? So that's X is left, right? Moving left to the right. And then when height is 15 meters. Okay, well, we said that height was Y. So they're giving us a Y value. That's very important. If they give us a Y value, we have to find X. Okay, now, if we have a Y value and we have to find X, move everything to one side and solve for X using factored form or quadratic formula. Okay, but that's what we said on the front of this lesson. Okay, the equation. To find x, use x equals negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a. Okay, and y equals a x squared plus bx plus c, right? Where this value is 0. All right, solution. Take the equation, the unknown, and the given. So if we want to use this, right, look at what we were given. Well, we were given the standard form. The very important part is, do we know what y is? We do know what y is. The height is 15. So we're going to use the y equals negative 0.051 x squared plus 2.04 plus, x plus 1.6, and we're going to sub in y equals 15 meters. Okay, so that's really important. So 15 is equal to negative 0.051 x squared plus 2.04 x plus 1.6. We can't find the height that it's traveled until we know that it reaches a height of 15, right? So as the football goes up, right, as the football goes up, it has a height of 15 meters, right? What is the x value? That's what we're trying to find, right? That's what we're trying to find. So when the height is 15, what is the x value on that parabola? Okay, so we have to move everything to one side. So we move that over here. So we have 0 equals negative 0.051 x squared plus 2.04 plus 1.6 minus 15. So 0 equals negative 0.051 x squared plus, oops, get that x in there. Don't want to have that x forgotten. Okay, so 1.6 minus 15, 1.6 minus 15, negative 13.4. Okay, so there is when we can start comparing it to standard form. Okay, so A equals negative 0.051, B equals 2.04, and C equals negative 13.4. Okay, I think I'm going to have to take all of this up here. Okay, so we're going to sub this, x equals negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2 times a. Okay, so x is equal to negative, b is positive, so that makes it okay. I want to move this up a little bit because I'm going to have a lot to write, so I want to avoid running out of room. So x is equal to negative 2.04 plus or minus, okay, so b is 2.4, I have to square it, minus 4 times a, which is negative 0.051, times c, which is negative 13.4, divided by 2 times a, which is negative 0.051. Okay, so x is equal to negative 2.04 plus or minus, so 2.04, I have to square it, 4.1616, do not round here, there's absolutely no need, but to round would mean that you're going to be less accurate, which is not the goal, okay? multiply all of these numbers together. So 4, that's negative, times 0.051, which is also negative, times 13.4, which is also negative, equals 2.7336. Negative 2.7336. All divided by 2 times 0.051, which is negative, equals negative 0.102. Okay, so x is equal to negative 2.04 plus or minus the square root of 4.1616 minus 2.7336. 1.428. 1.428 divided by negative 0.102. So we're going to move way over here to hopefully not run out of room. Okay, so x is equal to negative 2.04 plus whatever the square root of this is. So we want to take the square root of it. So it's 1.19498 blah blah blah. Okay, divided by negative 0.102, and then over here it's negative 2.04 minus whatever the square root was, which is here, 1.19498 blah blah blah, divided by negative 0.102. Okay, so we've got both parts ready to go. So we have this number. I mean, I can clear it or I can leave it. It really is inconsequential. So I'm going to add the 2.04, which is negative, okay, equals, so x is equal to negative 0.8450 blah blah blah. I'll put a 1 in there. The only point of writing a lot of digits is so that we emphasize the fact that we're not rounding. Okay, we are not rounding. The dot 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 means I have not rounded. Okay, so then I carry on, so I divide by 0.102, slowing down to make sure I'm typing in my numbers correctly. So x is equal to positive 8.28441 blah blah blah. So to one decimal place, 8 is 5 or greater, bumps up the 2, so 8.3 is one of my values, okay? And then over here, x is equal to 2.04, which is negative. Take away 1.19498, negative 3.23498 divided by negative 0.102. So just check your numbers as you go. Okay, so that number divided by 0.102, which is negative, gives me 31.715. 31.715. Running to one decimal place. Underline the first decimal. The 1 is not greater than 5, so it keeps the 7 where it is. So x is approximately 31.7. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, it means that when I have my height of 15, and my graph goes like this, right? This value here is an x value of 8.3 meters. And then when I go to the other side of the parabola, this value is x equals 31.7 meters, right? This is y, this is x. Okay, so my sentence, therefore the ball reaches a height of 15 meters when it has traveled 8.3 meters and 31.7 meters. Okay, make sure that if you have any questions, you email me.